Class 7, Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School, BRS, Nagar. Science, Lesson 4, Heat. An effort by Harnoor Kaur Class 7, Pink. For tuitions, please call 9815444985. Sensation of touch is not reliable to find the degree of hotness or coldness of the body. A reliable measure of the hotness of an object is its temperature. Temperature is a measure of the degree of hotness of an object. Temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. Clinical thermometer is used to measure our body temperature. The range of clinical thermometer is from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. A clinical thermometer consists of a long, narrow, uniform glass tube. It has a bulb at one end. This bulb contains mercury. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen. The scale we use is the Celsius scale, indicated by degree C. India has adopted the Celsius scale. The other scale with the range 94-108 degrees is the Fahrenheit scale, degree F. It was in use earlier. A clinical thermometer has a kink in it. Kink prevents mercury level from falling on its own. Mercury is a toxic substance and is very difficult to dispose of if a thermometer breaks. These days, digital thermometers are available which do not use mercury. Reading a thermometer. Wash the thermometer, preferably with an antiseptic solution. Hold it firmly and give it a few jerks. The jerks will bring the level of mercury down. Ensure that it falls below 35 degrees Celsius. Now place the bulb of the thermometer under the tongue. After 1 minute, take the thermometer out and note the reading. This is the body temperature. The temperature should always be stated with its unit, degree C. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Actually, what we call normal temperature is the average body temperature of a large number of healthy persons. The temperature of every person may not be 37 degrees Celsius. It could be slightly higher or slightly lower. The clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. The temperature of human body normally does not go below 35 degrees Celsius or above 42 degrees Celsius. That is the reason that this thermometer has the range 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Do not use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any object other than the human body. Avoid keeping the thermometer in the sun or near a flame. It may break. Precautions to be observed while using a clinical thermometer. Thermometer should be washed before and after use, with an antiseptic solution. Ensure that before use the mercury level is below 35 degrees Celsius. Read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. Do not hold the thermometer by the bulb while reading it. For other purposes, we use the laboratory thermometers. The range of laboratory thermometers is usually from 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Different types of thermometers are used for different purposes. Maximum and minimum thermometer are used for weather reports. To measure very high temperatures, such as those of flames, furnaces, ovens, etc. Bimetallic thermometers are used. The thermometer. The thermometer consists of a very fine glass tube having a very small bore commonly called a capillary tube. At one end of the capillary tube is a very thin glass bulb. This bulb is filled with pure mercury. The other end of the capillary tube is sealed, after removing air from it. The capillary tube is protected by a thick glass tube commonly called stem. The markings are made on the stem. These markings are commonly called graduations or degrees. The 0 degrees Celsius corresponds to the temperature of pure melting ice and is called the lower standard point. 100 degrees Celsius corresponds to the temperature of pure boiling water and is called the upper standard point. Precautions to be observed while using a laboratory thermometer. In addition to the precautions to be taken while reading a clinical thermometer, the laboratory thermometer should be kept upright, not tilted. Bulb should be surrounded from all sides by the substance of which the temperature is to be measured. The bulb should not touch the surface of the container. Heat energy. The energy transferred from one body to another body due to a temperature difference between them is called heat. It can be defined as an invisible energy which causes the sensation of hot and cold. Transfer of heat. The heat flows from a body at a higher temperature to a body at a lower temperature. There are three ways in which heat can flow from one object to another. These are 1. Conduction, 2. Convection, 3. Radiation. 1. Conduction. The process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object is known as conduction. In solids, generally, the heat is transferred by the process of conduction. 2. Convection. The phenomenon due to which particles of a medium actually move to the source of heat energy, and then move away from it after absorbing heat energy is called convection. Convection can take place in liquids and gases only, where the particles are free to move about. Exception is mercury, which gets heated by conduction, as it is a very good conductor of heat. Why is convection not possible in solids? The molecules of a solid are held strongly due to intermolecular forces. As these molecules cannot travel to the source of heat energy, convection is not possible in the case of solids. 3. Radiation. The transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body directly, without heating the space in between the two bodies, is called radiation. The transfer of heat by radiation does not require any medium. Conductors. The materials which allow heat to pass through them easily are conductors of heat. For example, aluminum, iron, and copper. Insulators. The materials which do not allow heat to pass through them easily are insulators. For examples, plastic and wood, water, and air. The people living in the coastal areas experience an interesting phenomenon. During the day, the land gets heated faster than the water. The air over the land becomes hotter and rises up. The cooler air from the sea rushes in towards the land to take its place. The warm air from the land moves towards the sea to complete the cycle. The air from the sea is called the sea breeze. At night it is exactly the reverse. The land cools down faster than the water. So, the cool air from the land moves towards the sea. This is called the land breeze.